Four friends drawn together by the thrill of the unknown on a stormy October night. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows as they huddled together, seeking a distraction from the mundane. Before them lay an old Ouija board, its surface worn with age and whispered tales. What could possibly go wrong? It seemed like harmless fun, a way to flirt with the supernatural, unaware of the forces they were about to invite into their lives. They gathered in a dim room, the flickering candlelight casting long, dancing shadows on the walls, adding to the eerie ambience. Outside, rain pounded against the windows, mimicking the frantic beat of their hearts, their nervous laughter masking a growing sense of unease. Each peal of thunder seemed to amplify the tension in the room. Sarah, the most daring of the group, carefully set the board down on the table, her hands trembling slightly. With a shared glance and a deep breath, they placed their fingers on the cold, smooth surface of the planchette, ready to begin. At first, nothing happened. A silence so profound it amplified the sound of their own breathing. Doubts began to creep in, questioning the validity of their endeavor. Then, with a barely perceptible tremor, the planchette began to creep across the board, guided by an unseen force. Slowly, deliberately, it began spelling out a name, Z-O-Z-O. The initial excitement quickly dissolved, replaced by a palpable sense of dread as the air in the room seemed to chill, frosting their breath. With hesitant voices, they asked, "Are you a good spirit?" hoping for reassurance, a sign that they were not in danger. The answer came swiftly and unequivocally, no. The mood shifted dramatically, the playful atmosphere replaced by a chilling fear that gripped them all. The planchette, now seemingly possessed, moved faster and faster, its movements erratic and unpredictable. It began spelling out threats and secrets, dark revelations that no one should ever know, secrets that threatened to shatter their friendships and their sanity. Panic rising, Mark tried to pull his hands away from the planchette, desperate to break free from its influence. But it felt like an invisible force held him firmly in place, preventing him from escaping the board's grasp. The innocent game had taken a sinister turn, spiraling out of control, leaving them vulnerable to something they didn't understand. Driven by sheer panic, they finally managed to break the connection, severing their link to the board. They shoved the board away as if it were a venomous snake, their nervous laughter a desperate attempt to regain composure. But despite their efforts, something had irrevocably changed in the atmosphere of the room, a lingering presence that refused to dissipate. In the following weeks, as the days turned into nights, they tried to forget what happened. But strange occurrences plagued their lives. Shadows flickered in their peripheral vision, and objects fell from shelves with no explanation. An overwhelming feeling of being watched haunted them, turning them into paranoid shadows of their former selves. They had unknowingly opened a door to a realm they couldn't close, unleashing something sinister into their world. The game was over, the board abandoned and forgotten in the shadows. But for these friends, the haunting had only just begun, a terrifying ordeal that would test the limits of their sanity. Sometimes, a seemingly simple game can unleash something far beyond your comprehension, something you never expected to encounter. And once it's out, once it has tasted the world of the living, it doesn't want to leave, clinging to its newfound existence with a terrifying tenacity. The Ouija board, a seemingly simple game, yet steeped in mystery. First, you have the letters, then the numbers, each one a potential answer, a whispered secret from beyond. And the stark choices, yes, no, goodbye. The gateway to communication, or so it seems, all guided by a planchette, a small piece of wood, a focal point for the unknown. It looks harmless, sold as a party game, a bit of spooky fun for a gathering. But its origins are steeped in the spiritualist movement of the 1800s, a time of great fascination with the afterlife. When people longed to speak with the dead, seeking solace and connection beyond the veil, patented in 1890, it became a commercial phenomenon. It was marketed as a mystical bridge to the spirit world, a way to contact those who had passed on. The rules seemed simple, a lighthearted game with a touch of the supernatural. Never play alone, for safety in numbers is your only shield. Always say goodbye, a respectful closing of the door between worlds. And never ask about your own death, for some knowledge is best left unknown. But using the board is like shouting into the dark, a call into the vast unknown. You never know who or what will answer, what presence you might invite into your world. You might hope for a loved one, a comforting voice from beyond. But you could attract something far more sinister, a darkness eager to cross over. Once the channel is open, the connection established, closing it isn't so easy. Severing the link can be a struggle against unseen forces. The friends in our story learned this the hard way, discovering the true power of the board. Some invitations can't be taken back, and some doors once opened can never truly be closed. Zozo, a name that sends shivers down the spines of those who dare to speak it. It's a name whispered in hushed tones during Ouija sessions worldwide, a chilling presence felt across continents, a harbinger of misfortune, always bringing chaos and disruption wherever it manifests. Encounters start innocently enough, often with curious friends seeking harmless fun. But Zozo's presence quickly turns dark, casting a long shadow over the unsuspecting participants. Lies begin to surface, threats are made, and a trail of bad luck follows, leaving a wake of despair and broken spirits. The infamous Enfield haunting, a chilling tale etched in paranormal history, began after children innocently played with a board. Soon their once peaceful home was plagued by relentless poltergeist activity, turning their lives into a living nightmare. Stories abound, whispered in hushed tones and documented in countless accounts. Nightmares that haunt the sleep, shadowy figures lurking in the periphery, unexplained scratches appearing on skin and walls, even terrifying claims of full-blown possession. The common thread weaving through these chilling tales? A profound loss of control, a descent into darkness. The board becomes a gateway to the unknown, a portal to something sinister, and unsuspecting users become mere pawns in a much larger, more dangerous game. Spirits may initially pretend to be friendly, offering comforting words and a welcoming presence, only to reveal their true, malevolent nature later, when it's far too late to escape. Whether a mere legend passed down through generations, or a terrifying truth lurking just beyond our perception, these tales serve as a stark warning, a cautionary tale for those who dabble in the occult. Some games are far more dangerous than they initially seem, concealing hidden perils beneath a veneer of harmless fun. Once you invite something in from the other side, opening a door to the unknown, it may never truly leave, lingering in the shadows and haunting your every waking moment. And sometimes in the darkest corners of our reality, it's already waiting patiently, lurking in the shadows for an invitation it doesn't need. Why do so many warn against Ouija boards? Because you never know who's on the other end. Some believe the board attracts dark entities that feed on fear and chaos. Science offers another answer, the ideomotor effect. Tiny, unconscious movements guide the planchette. But even if it's just your mind, the experience can be deeply unsettling. Fear and suggestion can make every shadow feel haunted. Whether you believe in spirits or psychology, the advice is the same: approach with caution or not at all. Some doors are best left closed. Is a moment of curiosity worth a lifetime of fear? Only you can decide.